Hey guys, it's Spaces Sims, and we are back with more Winter's Wish, continuing Kuga's route, and we were just chasing down our bastard child. He's just running wild in the streets now. Anyway. Our sassy lost child that we're adopting, who's, basically our age, but like, whatever, we're still gonna adopt him like our child. Kuga! Spacey. I followed the black threads Hanzo left on the ground out to Main Street, where I found Kuga standing still in the crowd. He must have lost sight of him because there are too many people around. Apologies. Hanzo got... He's over there! Hanzo's leaving a trail of black thread prints behind him. We're bound to find him if we follow the trail. Really? Then by all means, lead the way. Sure. It was a little difficult to spot them among all the people and emotional imprints that were already there, but fortunately Hanzo's footprints lingered. This time it was Kuga following me throughout the busy streets. Hell yeah. I'm sorry about earlier, Kuga. I let my guard down. It's not your fault. I underestimated him myself. I should have maintained a position where I could have slain him at any moment. Or at any time, sorry. Hearing him say that gave me slightly mixed feelings. The snow sacrament used by Kuga and the other vessels purified their enemies by destroying them. Since Hanzo was a form folk, we wouldn't be able to do this without slicing into his original object, which was more or less the same as dying for humans. If a form folk's object was broken and they lost their human form, attaining a physical form a second time would basically be a miracle. I can't really say I feel bad considering Ito's peace is at stake, but... However, Hanzo became a Blightfall purely out of his desire to avenge his family. He must have grieved his family member's death that much. The thought of that alone made it feel a bit cruel to end his life by performing the snow sacrament on him. Well, we were gonna do it, but I know what she means. The snow sacrament in the way that the vessels perform it. Us performing it to free him of the blight. And twilight is nigh. If we let him run loose, he might become an even more powerful Blightfall. And the imprints he's leaving behind could summon other Blightfall. We need to use the snow sacrament on him before that happens. Right. He's right. We have no other choice. We have to stop Hanzo somehow. As when you grab him and try to stop him. Eventually, Hanzo's footprints led us down yet another empty alleyway. He might be waiting to ambush us. Don't let your guard down, Spacey. Right. Huh? The footprints stop here. But why? You there? Are you okay? I glanced over when I heard Kuga's voice, startled, and saw someone collapsed on the ground a little further down the trail of black threads. Kuga ran over to help and found that it wasn't Hanzo, but instead... You're the form folk who works at the steamed bun restaurant, aren't you? What? Is that you again? How did I get here? I was just running the restaurant. Wait. He looked around in confusion before letting out a big yawn. Is Hanzo possessing people? Excuse me, but did anyone run over in this direction? Did you lose consciousness after he struck you, maybe? Did I? I don't remember anything after being at the restaurant. But maybe something did happen. I had a really nice dream. What was it about again? What in the blazes is going on? Hanzo's footprints suddenly vanish into thin air here. Interesting. Is Hanzo really a form folk? Because we made that comment, but notice this guy's a form folk. And Hanzo disappears. So, like, Hanzo is possessing them? Kind of like how the kidnapping god kidnapped the children, right? Because they don't... The Blightfall in the main chapters, like the whatever, don't seem to act like normal Blightfall. They're different to make it a little more exciting, right? Because otherwise you'd be doing the same thing. Oh, we're fighting a Blightfall again. Okay. it would just get boring, even though, okay, I'm romancing the character, but yeah, the Blightfall, whatever. Like, that'd be kind of boring, and it's a huge part of the game, right? So having it be kind of different where you're trying to solve this mystery and why this Blightfall is different and how it's working is part of the fun of it. So they all have to have something quote unquote different about them than standard Blightfall, right? Um and like in Tojo's, the kidnapping god was just a really strong Blightfall that was then kidnapping the children and using them, ripping out their fingernails and using effigies of them in order to control them, to have them summon Blightfall to kill Yoshimune, basically. You know what I mean? So, like, but now I'm wondering if Hanzo is kind of somehow possessing people or doing something. Because, like, this guy's here, Hanzo's gone, his footprints are here, like, he's possessing people. So is he really a form folk then? You know what I mean? Interesting. I mean, he's doing something, like somehow manipulating these people, and you think we see Hanzo, but he's in the body of this guy. We don't know that he's in this guy's body. Interesting. Because, like, Hanzo didn't just disappear, and this guy doesn't remember anything. After telling Kuga about the footprints, we brought the form folk who'd fainted back to the steamed bun restaurant in search of clues. We asked what happened before he vanished, but apparently no one had seen it happen. We couldn't find any eyewitness accounts of Hanzo himself, either. Yeah, so I'm wondering if he's, like, possessing people. Is that right? You mean to tell me that all this happened while I was at my cover job? Yeah, man, just being a pencil pusher sucks. This was after our unfruitful attempt to interview possible witnesses. We called Miyagi and Yoichi back to the Oniwaban base so Kuga and I could report what happened. Another form folk turned Blightfall, huh? Was kinda hoping we put an end to that with Mitsu. Well, we haven't heard any reports about Blightfall with a sword, or Blightfall spawning on their own, thankfully. You alright, Genjiro? Can't get any worse than being mistaken for the target of someone's revenge. The color of the threads around Miyagi's neck caught my attention. His tone was calm and sympathetic, but his threads were tinged with caution and worry, a complex color suggesting he was looking for something. Am I imagining things? Maybe the light's just playing tricks on my eyes. Does he know? I'm wondering if he knows something. That makes it, like, it's like he's looking for something. Like, is he worried that, like, Genjiro's gonna be like, I don't know, I was scared, and, like, you know what I mean? Or is he like, I want to see if you recognize that kid because you know something, that maybe Hanzo coming after Genjiro isn't totally unfounded. Not to say that Genjiro did it, but if for some reason he's created from an object that maybe the owner of the object, which he was the one who did it. You know what I mean? Why he looks like the owner of his object, I don't know. But, like, because that's what I was wondering, if, like, Hanzo was going to be like, I know because of that whatever that you have, blah, 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 like, item or something, and it was going to be like, that's me, though. You know what I mean? It'd be like, I know because of that shirt you're wearing, and you're like, but what's this shirt? You know what I mean? You know? Like, he recognized the object that Genjiro used to be, and that's how he thought Genjiro was the person who killed his family, but I'm still wondering if there's some kind of tie like that, however it is. Not that, obviously, he recognized the object, but Genjiro was somehow an object from that belonged to the person that killed Hanzo's family. There's got to be a tie there, and I feel like now her being like, Miyagi's looking at him, like, waiting for him, like a complex color, like he's looking for something, he's looking to see if Genjiro fucking remembers anything, you know what I mean? Like, that's what I feel is sus right now. Seriously, plus the only thing similar about your names is the Gen part in Gengoemon. According to Hanzo, I match the description of him almost perfectly. Yikes! Sounds like a huge pain in the ass. Did the form folk make sure to report his intent to the authorities? If there's a record of it, we can learn what his background is and all of... Wait. there's a record of it, we can learn what his background is all in one sitting. So wait, you just go to the authorities? Hi! Hey, hi! I'm new in town. I'm just letting you know I'm gonna slay one of your town members because they killed my mom. You killed my father, prepare to die. You know what I mean? Like, you go to the cops and you're like, just so you know, there's this guy in town. He killed my dad, so I'm gonna kick his ass. Okay, cool, thanks. I just wanted to let you know. Like, and they're like, all right, cool. I mean, it sounds fucking ludicrous, but at the same time, they did say before, well, you're not really a true samurai unless someone in your family died and then you went out and got revenge. So like, as fucked up as it sounds to be like, wait, did he let the authorities know he was gonna kill you? Because I mean, like, whoa, you don't just come in and try to get revenge on someone. You gotta go to the cops and let them know you're gonna kill someone. And then they're like, okay, cool. Whatever, we won't, not our business. What the fuck? Could you imagine? Could you imagine? Like, shit was wild, man. Shit was wild back in the day. Damn. I checked, but didn't see any record recently. If he's already turned into a Blightfall, it's probably best not to assume he's following all the rules. I love the fact that there are rules for murder. I mean, men are so fucking weird with the shit that they come up with. There are rules for war. You know, I just feel like if you've got to sit down and hash out rules, maybe you could, like, sit down and not be douchebags and, like, come to a normal consensus instead of being like, all right, we got the rules. Okay, let's get on the field and kill each other, guys. Sounds fun. What the fuck? There are, like, rules to engagement. There are, like, rules to, like, exacting revenge on someone who killed your family. Although, I mean, if you take a step back, it's like, how did this Gengoemon guy kill Hanzo's family? Because what led to that? Was there rules to that? Like, well, you slighted me, so I get to stab you now. And then Hanzo's like, okay, now I'm going to find you. And I'm going to tell the authorities in the town you live in that I'm going to kill you. And everyone's like, well, those are the rules. Like, how's that work? Because, like, Hanzo is supposed to go to the authorities and be like, it is my intent to kill this man for killing my family. Per the rules of being a samurai. And they're like, okay, cool. But, like, why did Hanzo's family die to begin with? Was that totally, like, is it because, like, hey, this guy just came up without any warning, didn't tell any authorities, and just slaughtered my family, and, like, but then you're gonna follow rules to get back at him? There's rules for revenge, but not for the initial killing? But if there are rules for the initial killing, what the actual fuck? Like, it's so fucking absurd when you take a step back and you're like, do you think maybe we could just, like, not stab each other, like, to begin with? Like, no, there's rules in the stabbing. Like, this is not Stab Club, you know? But it's just so fucking bizarre when you think about it. And, like, men are coming up with rules on murder and revenge. I just think that maybe if you let some women in, they'd be like, maybe don't? What? We never thought of that. Yeah, I don't know. But again, remember, women are the overly emotional ones. And we might start wars because we're on our period. Which, by the way, when we're on our periods and super hormonal, it's because we have more testosterone. So, I don't know. I think the testosterone's the problem then. And that's kind of funny, actually. It's very funny when men go, women are getting all hormonal on your periods, and you can't reason with women when they're on their period, and you're all like, whatever, and it's like, because we're acting like you? It's really funny that you think that. I'm just saying. We're the emotional ones. Okay. Oh! I want to be like these, but, like, you know, most of them, except for Miyagi here, but they're just vessels. They're like, I don't know, this is what I was told. They don't know if it makes any sense or not, but, like, the fact that all of you think this makes sense. Oh, dear God. Oh, dear God. This is why the world is fucked up, because we let men run this shit for so long. You guys are morons. It's pretty ridiculous. Oh, God, history was weird. Right, because Blightfall aren't human or form folk. At this point, he probably doesn't care about his reputation or playing fair and square. Okay. Well, we already know the whole murder and revenge thing is not fair and rule. Okay. It's fucking weird. I love it. It's so weird. And I know this is not the game making this up. I'm sure that this was probably like the way shit was, and it's just history is fucking stupid. Like some of the shit we did is like did we is stupid. It's so dumb, and we still didn't learn anything from it. Well, think of it this way. If we need to take down the Blightfall, maybe we're in luck that he thinks I'm the one he's seeking. Maybe we're in luck that he thinks I'm the one he's seeking revenge against. He'll probably turn up again at some point, just like he did today. When he does, taking him down shouldn't be a problem as long as we're prepared. Yep, although we should look for Hanzo too. So basically, if Hanzo turns up, Kenjiro's allowed to fight him. Based on what you've told us, he sounds like a pretty dangerous Blightfall. The act of seeking retaliation lends itself to negative feelings. There's a high chance he might get stronger and cause other Blightfall to spawn, as you feared. As strong as you are, Genjiro, you'd be in danger if he attacked while you were by yourself. I knew it. Miyagi's just worried about him. Well, I don't know. I mean, yes, I'm sure he is, but I'm wondering if there was something else there. I was too. Kuga's always seemed like a skilled swordsman to me, but if Hanzo uses that whirlwind attack again, I wonder if he could only use that once because he was possessing some other form folk's body, and you know what I mean? So maybe we'll see if he uses that same attack, okay, but if he uses a different one, then it's who he's possessing. Huh. Anyway, as powerful as he was, Kuga would have a difficult time handling it on his own. Why don't I help guard him then? What? What? I get everyone's look, huh? Look. Kuga looks sad like, oh, sweetie. Miyagi's like, eh? And Yoichi's like, how fucking dare you even think you're capable of this? I mean, I'm not a slouch. You know what I mean? But I don't know if I'm good enough to protect Kuga. You know what I mean? Like, why do they look so confused? Miyagi looked puzzled, but so did the two vessels, who didn't have hearts. Absolutely not. Kenjiro hasn't sunk so low that he needs you to protect him, of all people. But I'm an Oniwaban too, and you trained me yourself. Even in a real fight against a Blightfall, I could... You've been fighting small fry. You wouldn't be any help against the kid Genjiro fought today. You don't know that. You weren't there. Indeed. Oh. Oh! Eat too, Genjiro. I mean, to be fair, they ain't wrong. But still. Ouch! Not Kuga, too! As my martial arts master, I knew Yoichi couldn't help but be harsh. Still, it made me a little sad knowing that even Kuga thought I would be useless in battle. He's just that formidable of a foe. Though I have to say, Spacey did an excellent job probing Hanzo and telling me what was going on by looking at threads. Kuga... Huh, really? Sounds like she got a bit more training going on patrol with you, Genjiro. I did! I wasn't much help in battle, but I managed to make it back home in one piece. Well, I'm glad to hear that, but I'm not so sure we should rely on you to guard him, Spacey. I mean, to be fair, they ain't wrong. Like, I am useful, and I can help, but I am not good I'm not good enough to protect this man, you know what I'm saying? Wait! Of course not! I never actually intended to be his bodyguard. I was thinking I could be more of a messenger. If something happens happens to Kuga, wouldn't it be better to have someone around to call for help? I'm officially Kuga's servant, so no one would find it suspicious for me to be with him all the time. True. True. I can't say true. Right. Multiple people have the Valley Girl voice. Oh my god. I was trying to go for that, and then it came out Yuichi's voice, oddly. Gotcha. Not a bad idea, then. You should have said so earlier. I tried to tell you, but you sent the conversation veering off in a weird direction.
You're right. Yuichi has his job as head clerk, and Lord Miyachi has other duties of his own. Asking them to guard me day and night would be very inconvenient for them. Sir, Spacey's idea makes sense to me. Permission granted?
I'm not sure how I feel about having a young girl her age staying with a man who lives alone. Oh, don't worry. We've already been doing it left and right. Miyagi fucking dies. But you're a vessel, so there's nowhere safer for her to be. Alright, I guess she can. And now I'm moving in with him! I knew this was gonna happen. I assumed when we were working as a servant we were gonna live with him or whatever. But, like, no, not till now. But whatever. Hear that, Spacey? He said yes. Do a good job. Thank you. I'll do the best I can.
Much obliged. In that case, you'll need to act as my actual servant instead of just pretending.
Huh? Well, gotta worry about what other people think. I mean, if acting's good, I'd love to lie around whenever I don't have any Onimabon work to do. Oh, right. Even Yoichi works as a head clerk instead of just pretending, even though it's only a cover. Got it. I'll put my best foot forward there, too. The female servants typically prepare meals, clean, and do other odd jobs, and that sort of thing.
What are the odd jobs?
Is doing Kuga the odd job? Because I'm fine with that. I see. I really was grateful for Yuichi's advice as a more experienced servant than I. All right, I'll do my best to be both Kuga's guard and servant. Yay! We're now his bangmaid.
Hey, Spacey.
Huh? What's the matter, Kuga? Is it you-know-who?
Nothing of the sort. You're tensing your shoulders too much. You'll wear yourself out doing that. Starting tomorrow, we'll do our rounds together instead of going on separate routes. In other words, you'll be walking twice as much and also doing more servant work.
But as long as I don't miss Hanzo's footprints, I'll be able to detect any potential danger before anyone else.
Right. Which is why I'd like to see you hold steady and exert yourself over a longer period of time. My guess is that Hanzo won't strike tonight. He could sense that I overpowered him, which is why he put on a show to make his escape. He'll attack next when he's strong enough to defeat me. I'm not sure when that might be. There's no sense in guarding me if you run out of energy halfway through.
Ah, so you're saying it's not good to use all my strength all of the time?
Right. You're not the only one preparing for him to attack. I am too. It's just like when we're out doing our regular rounds. I'll find anything you might overlook, and vice versa.
'Cause we're a beautiful team. How adorable.
So relax a little.
It was true. I've been tensing my shoulders ever since we left the Oniwaban base, and it was just the two of us. No. When Yuichi was training me, he told me overexerting yourself for no reason leads to mistakes. It probably applies when on guard duty, too. Got it. You're right. It's okay if I make a few mistakes here and there, since you'll be with me.
Right. That's my duty as your senior. And your master.
On second thought, it's a little awkward for me to think it's fine to make mistakes in the first place. It's okay to make mistakes. However, based on the way he was nodding his head in agreement without the slightest bit of concern, Kuga felt the same way. I mean, in this case, it's one of those, like, mistakes get people dead. But, you know what I mean? But if you're so tense all the time, like he said, down the road, you're going to make bigger mistake than, like, if you're relaxed and you, like, miss something, he's going to catch, you know what I mean? You're balancing each other out. Well, I'm thankful he's carrying, well, while I'm thankful he's such a caring guy, wow, I'll try not to take advantage of that.
And that reminds me, I meant to ask you, what are you doing for supper tonight?
Oh, I was gonna make something when I got back. It's already late, though, so I probably won't be able to make anything fancy.
I didn't make my own food before, so I don't have any ingredients to cook with at the house.
Really? Then how'd you make those rice balls for lunch the other day? That was months ago. Now, maybe he made them also the other day. But remember, we had our little party for getting rid of the Kamakiri, and it was like, that was months ago. And it's like, excuse me? The hell? And then when we started Genjiro's route, it was like months later. So now she's talking about rice balls the other day, as if it has not been months. Game, get your timeline straight. I mean, to be fair, he could have also, I'm assuming it's not like he only made rice balls that one time and never again, but that's what they make it sound like. Like, she's referring to that scene that we saw months ago, but I guess we're supposed to infer, like, oh, maybe the other day he made them too. Because I'm sure he did. Multiple times.
I planned ahead knowing I need to do a stakeout. I don't do anything that elaborate when I'm out walking around.
The rice balls were delicious, but elaborate? He must not know anything about cooking.
There aren't any street hawkers out around this time of night, plus the rice vendors and grocers have closed, so we should probably eat out. What do you think?
Street hawkers, those who walk around carrying a pole on their shoulder with baskets or wooden buckets hanging on both ends, hawking their wares. Which I'm assuming is like food also. I don't mind at all. When you say eat out, do you mean at a stall or at a restaurant?
Something along those lines, yes. Maybe an izakaya since they serve drinks.
Izakayas? I've seen them before, but I've never been in one, even when out on patrol.
I didn't think you would. You'd stick out like a sore thumb since they don't often have young women coming in alone. That's why I left them off your assigned route. We're heading somewhere open all night, meant for those heading home from the entertainment district. All the more reason you'd never have been there alone. Their food's delicious and the owner's a good man. I'm not sure if you'll like it, but it's a great place to gather information.
He must go there a lot then. I'll need to act like a servant so no one will think anything's up. I'd already spent a bit of time patrolling Castletown as Kuga's servant, but that didn't necessarily mean I'd gotten to know all of his acquaintances. I'd be meeting a lot of people for the first time if we went places I couldn't normally go. I want to make some connections for my future Oniwaban efforts. Especially since Kuga's trusted me to go on patrol by myself after all the hard work I'd put in. Well, starting tomorrow, I'll be back to going on patrol with Kuga. Still, he's also letting me be his guard because I proved I could patrol by myself. I went back to the basics and properly introduced myself as his servant, Spacey. Wow, are you getting servant? I heard rumors about you. You're real after all. Yes, I am. He's very good to me.
I don't doubt that one bit. Upstanding samurai like Genjiro are hard to come by. You found a real great place to be a servant.
Hey, careful what you're saying. She's a relative of Gen, so she probably comes from samurai stock too. I'm sure she's not amused listening to you criticize samurai, you know? Oh no, I'm not of samurai lineage. I might be a relative of his, but I'm a very distant one. Very, very distant, so later when we get married, it's not weird. But it probably wouldn't be weird even if I was his sister. Sister.
Oh yeah? Then how'd you end up being a servant?
My father was an old friend of his. I used to live out in the country. While there, I met the owner of an oil shop called Toda's and the owner's servant, a farm folk. I hadn't been bombarded with questions like this in a long time, but I was used to it by now. I'm glad I followed Miyagi's advice and didn't lie about where I'm from. If I fibbed and said I was a city girl raised in Edo, or the daughter of a samurai family, I would have been caught a long time ago. I see. You must have been through a lot.
No, I'm kind of curious. How many other servants does Genjiro have besides you?
Huh? Oh, right. You got me curious, too. He constantly stops by this dump to eat and drink, even though he's a shogunate retainer. He's an odd bird, that Gen.
He cares about us ordinary folk like we're his own because he's such a friendly, warm-hearted guy. But his lifestyle is a complete mystery to me.
For sure. Come to think of it, I'm not even sure where in Samurai Town his house is.
Kuga's just like, not helping.
Like, this is where you jump in. Because what am I supposed to say? Kuga? Like, she's thinking that internally, like I was. Sir, jump in. Kuga sipped his sake silently, although it wasn't clear if he realized the other customers were looking at him probingly. They never intended to ask Kuga directly. They'd apparently been hoping to clear this up through me from the very start. Aren't I sitting right next to him? This was Kuga we were talking about, after all. If they asked him, he'd probably effortlessly sidestep the question anyway. Looking at their threads, I can tell they're curious because they like him, not because of any bad feelings. Even with my own backstory down pat, we never did decide what I should say about Kuga. How did I get this far without being asked this? Maybe they were all just holding back because I was never in a situation where they served alcohol. I got in a big head about doing a bang-up job on patrol and pretending to be a servant all on my own, but maybe I'd just gotten lucky. Just when I'd lost all confidence in myself.
Thanks for waiting. Here's the stewed octopus, simmered yam, and grilled sardines with miso natto soup.
Oh. The server brought out a ton of food, almost as if to fill the silence I created because I was so stumped.
How's it look, Spacey? I know they're just appetizers. Will this be enough to fill you up?
Yeah, it looks really good.
I'm sorry, but do you mind letting us focus on our meal? Our food's here. Sure. Sorry for interrupting. Enjoy, sweetheart.
This place doesn't look like much, but the food's great. Their alcohol's unfiltered, but they don't cut it with anything, so you'll get nice and drunk. That's awfully honest of you. Phew! Managed to get away from that topic because our food came. No, because Kuga put an end to it. I was this close to going too far and saying something that might hurt Kuga's reputation, so I was utterly relieved to be free.
Don't be shy. Have as much as you want. If there's not enough, order more of anything you like.
Thank you. Aren't you hungry, Kuga?
I don't have much interest in eating. I get full just from drinking, so please, don't worry about me.
I don't have much of an interest in eating. I guess it's like vessels don't need to eat. Probably they don't need to do anything. That's like strange. Oh, really? I guess he prefers drinking. His expression hasn't changed, so I can't tell if he thinks his drink is good or not. I mean, he was eating rice balls, though. So, like, it's not that he doesn't eat. Huh. As I thought this to myself, I reached for the stewed octopus with my chopsticks and brought some up to my mouth. This is delicious.
Oh, so you can tell how delicious the food is, huh? I can't wait to see how good of a cook you are.
Wait, me?
A good palate for flavor shows in your cooking. Kendro, do you let her make all your food? That's the plan.
It must be difficult to please Kuga when he's had such a discriminating palate.
You see, Kendro's a real gourmet. He drops by eateries all over Castletown in search of delicious grub.
And we're looking at the man who just makes rice balls. Oh, is that what the townfolk assume he's doing because he stops by so many different restaurants to gather information? But he doesn't eat anything. Knowing the truth, that Kuga didn't actually have much interest in food, made this feel like one heck of a misunderstanding. Kuga remained silent and didn't deny it. Of course he wouldn't. Their assumption was far more convenient for him as an Onewabond. He wouldn't think of correcting them.
Even if he wasn't, it must be rough being Gendro's servant. He's a real thorough, strict guy.
I hope he's real thorough. I'm never gonna not make shit perverted. Sorry.
I figured you were the daughter of some samurai family looking to work as a live-in servant, hoping to marry. Turns out you're just a girl from the countryside. You seem well-mannered. Not that I'm trying to nitpick or anything, but I'm a little worried you're not cut out for this kind of work.
Gah, a girl from the countryside. I I couldn't really object since I actually was one. But then,
And Spacey does a perfectly fine job. Both are all shocked. Aw.
the other customers gasped at Kuga's brief, calm, yet very clear objection. Kuga, unless my reputation was so bad people were bad-mouthing me behind my back, their opinion of me as a servant had nothing to do with my Oniwaban duties. This was why I'd planned to let the misunderstanding slide, just like Kuga had when they said he had a discerning palate, but I'm over the moon. I wasn't sure if he said that out of concern for me, or if he really thought I was doing a good job. Not as a servant, because we've never actually done any of that work before, but I would believe that he thinks we're doing a good job in everything else we're doing, because, we kind of have been. I didn't know Kuga's feelings, as I couldn't see his threads. It was hard to tell what vessels thought when they used such different logic from humans and form folk. But alrighty then, glad to hear it. Sorry for sticking our noses where they don't belong.
You must really be doing a good job for Genjiro to speak up like that. Keep up the good work.
Well, thank you very much, sir. I hope to be at your service for many years to come.
Oh yeah, we do.
Before I knew it, I was bowing my head deeply from the shogi chair where I sat. It really felt like I was Kuga's servant now. I truly, sincerely wanted to work hard alongside Kuga from here on out.
Again?
Sir?
It's nothing. I hope so too. He was like, she called me sir and bowed to me. This is strange.
He also lowered his head in a bow, although not as deeply as I did. I feel like he stiffened up a bit just now.
Maybe there's something. Sir? And he's like,
Did you just tweak something in him? Did that stroke a little part inside of him? You're cracking him a little. He's like,
she called me sir and I like it.
You have a weird kink? I mean, we're down for it, whatever. For a moment, I panicked that I'd confused him by saying something weird, but that didn't seem to be the case.
All right, your drinks are on me. Drink as much as you want.
What? I
don't... She doesn't drink. May I have it instead?
Good on you again. Now you're talking. What if I do want to drink? Maybe I want to get sloppy drunk and throw myself at you. Which would just be stupid at this point. It's going to be stupid when she does it, because, whatever. But we're going to be here for it. We're going to be like, I do the same. Because I do it now. And then besides, it'll crack him a little bit. Thanks in part to the kind things Kuga had to say about me, I fit right in after that. I thoroughly enjoyed the delicious food and laid-back conversation. Whoa, is that your manner, Kuga? Whoa, you live with Chie? What the fuck? Is she your wife? You gonna be like Miyagi and have a wife and a child? Because the same background. For anyone that wasn't paying attention. Like if you're multitasking. It's just the same manner background, but that's okay.
Yes, that's where I live.
Amazing. It's almost as grand as the Oniwaban base. I can't believe he lives in this by himself. He probably has like 14 women in here. Just kidding. That said, I'd been sleeping over at the base almost entirely by myself. My living situation hadn't been much different from Kuga's.
I know the topic came up when we were at the izakaya earlier, but I haven't told any of the townfolk about this manor. I've tried to keep the residents of this neighborhood from knowing it belongs to me. It makes it easier to walk around as part of my duties.
Makes sense. Should I be careful about going in and out then?
Yes. Samurai Town is limited to foot traffic, so no need to be too wary. I usually try to enter through the back door when no one's around, though. I should be able to show you around in peace since it's dark out. And come with me.
So obviously because he's a samurai retainer, so he lives in Samurai Town, so makes sense.
The manor's fairly large, but most of it goes unused except where I sleep. I spend most of my time in this room.
Oh, he brought us to his bedroom.
You remember where the restroom and the washroom are, right? It's late, so I'll be heading to bed.
It sure is. Well...
Your bed. I should still have one Yoichi used when he lived here. It gets cold just before daybreak, so here, use this kaimaki.
Kaimaki? Okay. Which is kimono-shaped bedding with sleeves, smaller than a sleeping kimono with very little cotton. As he talked, Kuga took 2 futons out of the closet, laid them on the tatami mat, then set out a kaimaki and a wooden pillow for each of us. It's just so funny, like, oh, how comfortable is a wooden fucking pillow? Jesus. And you just lay there, stiff. But we're sleeping in the same room. We don't even have our own bedroom. We are sleeping with him.
She's like, wait, we're sharing a room?
Right. I'm sleeping with Kuga because I'm guarding him.
Oh, sure. Because if you slept in the room next door with your fucking, like, oh God, why can't I remember what they're called? But like the walls, your sliding doors, they're basically made out of paper. They're thin as shit. You could kick through them. Like paper, like, whatever, aren't they? Because they're like very thin. Not the walls, but like the doors and stuff. I'm pretty fucking sure you'd hear him scream. But I guess 5 seconds, okay, makes sense. But still, it's a little like, ooh. But also, ooh.
It was my idea to guard him because no one would think it strange for a servant to be around all the time, but I'd assume we'd be sleeping in separate rooms, right? I'm glad this happened before I asked him something boneheaded like where I'd be sleeping. He'd think that I needed to be more like a guard. I got the sense that Kuga would never think that, but I'd hate to jinx it right out of the gate. Oh, then I'll change into my night clothes. Do you mind turning around for a moment? You could go to the bathroom and then change. Oh, not that I think you're interested or anything. I just didn't want to sully your eyes. No, wait, I'm sorry. Please do whatever you want. Not that I think you're interested or I don't want to sully your eyes with my body and like, you know what, do it, stare if you want. I don't know. Like, I love how fucking unhinged that is. It's so cute, but it's like turn around. Not that I think you're interested. You'd be like, I'm not interested. And she's like, yeah, but it matters to me.
If you don't want me to look, I'll turn around. If you don't want me to look,
I mean, is this your kink too?
Actually, I want you to look sexily. Take off your clothes in front of him. And you're like, what did you think? Was that a good performance? Could I be like a stripper? How was that?
She's like, yeah, no, I get off on people watching me undress. Like, Kuga said this before turning his back to me, sitting cross-legged on his futon. Other than my father, I've never slept in the same room as a man my whole life. It's making me so nervous I'm saying weird things. Nah, but I mean, fair. Because if you were in that situation, you'd be like, turn around. And then you're like, oh, well, I mean, it's not because I think you're going to stare at my boobies because you're interested, because you're not. But you know what I mean? So, like, absolutely all of that unhinged shit that came out of her mouth, makes 100% fucking sense. I love it. Since Kuga was a vessel, no, wait. Given his personality, he'd never do anything untoward, even if he weren't a vessel. Truth. You know what? She says that, and he's going to be the one that, like, the second he cracks is going to get... You're going to be the one that pins me to the wall or the floor, aren't you? Oh, dear God, he absolutely is. I'll change in a hurry so I don't keep him waiting, at least. Oh, look, we get to see his nightgown! Look at his little nightgown! Sir, it's going to be really hard to sleep with your fucking sword like that. I'm just saying. But, like, look at you. How cute.
I'm putting out the light now.
Okay. I love that, though, because it's not like they change her, like we've seen them do that before, but they put him in one, too. Again, it's just the little details like this. Where the fuck's Komame? What did we do with the damn bird? As I slipped into my kaimaki, Kuga reached out and extinguished the flame in the lantern, darkening the room. Again, where's fucking Komame? You had to bring her with you. Oh, maybe I should have said goodnight. Even I thought it was ridiculous that I was fretting over something so minor. Simply tilting my head on the pillow and thinking of Kuga being there beside me made my heart beat incredibly loudly.
You must find it difficult to conduct yourself around someone like me compared to normal humans and form folk.
What?
If something bothers you, feel free to tell me. Like when I took you by the hand earlier.
You mean months ago?
Flashback to that CG. Oh,
I didn't mind that. I was just really nervous.
were you?
Oops, I got so carried away I bolted out of bed. I took that moment to yank my slightly askew clothes back together. Cougar remained lying down and looked up at me, watching quietly as I did so. 'Cause like Tojo fell on us and then accidentally kissed us 'cause Komame attacked him. But she's like, oh, Kendra would never do anything untoward. He's gonna be the one that when he cracks. 'Cause like that was an accident, like Tojo's thing, right? He is going to literally push us against a wall and get like fucking feisty. You know it, just because she'd be like, oh, I wouldn't expect this out of you. Oh, yeah. No, he better now. Yeah, that's why I asked you not to let go of my hand. Oh man, what did I just say? My face was red, and with Kuka's eyes on me, I was too embarrassed to look back at him. Flustered, I averted my gaze and settled back into my kaimaki. Kuka continued on. See, this is one of those things, like, it's awkward, but you'd be like, listen, it's just, I haven't been around a lot of people because I was stuck in the mountains, so a lot of this is new to me. And, like, I get it, you're a vessel, you guys are different, but it's still, like, it's still new experiences with other human beings, especially men, so it's gonna be weird and jumbled in my brain. It'd be like, even if you were a woman, it's gonna be weird things just because I'm not used to dealing with people. I'm basically a shut-in. I don't know how to associate with people, so don't worry about it. I'm gonna be weird for a while, you know?
Understood. I never intended to cause you any undue worry. I'm sure you'll have plenty to say since you aren't used to my lifestyle. Like taking tub baths.
Are we doing that together? Tub bath. Pouring water into a wash bin and using the water from it to bathe yourself. In case you didn't know what a bath was, guys. I'm assuming that tub baths was like a word, a specific Japanese word, and then they translated it to tub baths and then had the thing. But I feel like even in Japanese, that you would know, reading it, you'd know what the word was. So you wouldn't need a dictionary description unless it's like an oldie word. You know what I mean? Like a word that, like you say a bath, but like maybe they called it something else back in the day. You know? And you were like, a what? You're like, oh, a bath. Oh, okay. Because, like, you know what I mean? Like, words change over time. And, like, things that you call things change over time. So, like, an oldie time word for basically a bath, you might not know in modern times. But it's weird because they said a tub bath as if you don't know in English what the fuck that is. If they had just left whatever Japanese word and then explained it, you know, you're like, okay. But I get it, the glossary is there. So they just translated it, and sometimes the translations come out so weird because you're like taking a tub bath, and you're like, a bath where you put water in a tub and wash yourself. What? That's what I'm supposed to do with that thing in my bathroom? That giant thing, that's like a giant sink? I had no fucking idea. It's just so fucking funny sometimes. You're like, I need descriptions of certain things. Like the kaimaki thing where you're like, it's basically like a sleeping kimono, but thinner. You're like, okay, cool. I don't know what that is. But they do tub bath. You know? Or like sleeping kimono. They're like, a kimono for sleeping. And you're like, yeah. I mean, they gave you a little more description about it so you understood it better. But tub bath is basically like what the fuck a bath is. Oh, God. This game is fun. The glossary terms are ridiculous sometimes. Well, yeah. What, you never took a bath before? I thought that was pretty standard.
I know you need to fulfill your bodyguard duties, but do whatever is easiest for you. I praised you as my servant. You do well enough in that respect since it's not your actual job to take care of my day-to-day needs.
Am I supposed to bathe him? 'Cause I'll do it. Kuga, he really was just being considerate. Considering how vessels were built, he was only doing this to make his mission go smoothly. Before this, I'd always felt a bit confused anytime I realized this. But now it makes me so happy. I'm grateful. Now it wasn't just my cheeks that were flushed. My chest was warm too. Before long, I was no longer worried about sleeping alone with a non-family member. I just felt relaxed. And again, I mean, I get it. Like, for her, like, oh my God, I'm sleeping alone with a man who's not family, and oh my God. But, so it's awkward, but she's not worried that anything's going to happen. And hey, at least if you're going to sleep in a room with a man, here you go. He's definitely not going to do anything. The next best thing would be a gay man. Because you're like, then maybe you'd cuddle, but it's not going to be anything inappropriate. You know what I mean? So, hey. Right now, the vessels are basically asexuals. They're like, yeah, you're a person. What do you want from me? Ew, no. You know, they have no interest in you and your bits and baubles whatsoever. At all. They're like so far on that fucking end. Not like some of us who are a little bit more like, actually now I'm interested in your bits and baubles. You know what I mean? He's not at all. Because he's got no emotion. He's a robot. That reminds me, you said Yoichi originally used this futon. Did you and Yoichi live together before he left to work at Yanagi Brewery as a servant? For some reason, I can't picture that at all. So does Yoichi live at Yanagi Brewery then? Huh. Kuga had apparently fallen asleep at some point. How sweet. After Kuga struck up a conversation with me, too. Maybe he was going out of his way to talk to me, even though he was really sleepy. The thought made me grateful all over again. I'll absolutely protect him. And I'll be useful to him as a servant, too. And he's like, could you shut up? I'm trying to sleep. I'm sure she was saying that more in her head instead of like out loud, but... Kenjiro didn't respond to Spacey's declaration. Oh, but he heard me. However, a faint smile tugged at the corners of his mouth as he listened to her talking quietly to herself. I was like, maybe it's just her inner monologue. It's not. She's like, I will protect him, and I'll do a good job as his servant. And he's over there like, silly weirdo. How cute. Oh, I like that they put that in that he heard us. Oh, chapter 5. We really only had one choice in the last chapter? Oh, yeah. Do we really only ever have one choice in these chapters? Chapter 3 and 4, I mean, I don't remember Tojo's very much, but a few days had already gone by since I had taken on the role of being Kuga's guard. It was a struggle at first since Kuga and I were constantly on the move and I was keeping my eyes peeled for Hanzo, but I figured it out bit by bit. Do we have 6 or 7 chapters? Hold on. Scroll up and see. That's the chapter 7. Okay. And we just went into chapter 5. I scrolled down really quick to see, was it 6 or 7 chapters, or was it 8? I don't remember. And then whipped back up really fast, so then I'm like, what chapter are we in? I don't want to see answers. You know what I mean? I don't want to see the answers. I just wanted to see chapters. I'm used to living in his house now. Hopefully I can start working as a servant in earnest soon, too. That reminds me, Kuga, I'd like to tidy up this room. Do you mind stepping out into the hallway for a moment?
Into the hallway?
Yep, I'll leave the sliding door open, so I'll be able to tell right away if anything happens to you. I got a cushion so your backside won't get cold, and also made you a hot cup of tea. Here you go. She's like, get the fuck out of the room so I can sweep.
You didn't have to do all that, but thank you.
All right. I even got a compliment from Kuga. Things were off to a good start. I think it's cute. She just wants to clean the room, and he's like, I've got to leave. And you're like, how can I tidy the floor if you're on it? You'd be like, okay, get up and move. Go sit in that corner. Oh, he's sitting out in the hallway now. I looked out into the hallway and saw Kuga at a writing desk. I'd moved out of the room, sipping his tea. Yeah, because it's like, so he's outside on the veranda. It looked like he was writing something. Maybe an Oniwaban report, since he's always writing those. Okay, then time to clean as much as I can all at once while he's focused on that. Now then, it's pretty dusty in here since we hang out in this room all the time. Says my eyes darting around and being like, yeah, it really is here. I'm pretty sure I need to dust my Xbox because it's not really blue anymore. I decided to knock all the dust on the beams and rafters onto the ground with a duster, sweep it up with a broom, and then take a cloth and wipe everything clean. Once I worked out a plan, I began wiping down the room with the duster in my hand. Wow, it's way dirtier in here than I thought. He did tell me that all he basically did here was sleep, so he probably ignored what he couldn't see. In the short time that I'd known him, I'd always thought of Kuga as a methodical person who could handle anything you threw his way. Living with him made me realize he could be pretty inattentive when it came to day-to-day things, by which I meant he barely paid any attention to them at all. He really needed a woman's touch around here. Wouldn't it be nice if I figured out a way to make this place cozier so he could relax after a hard day's work? Oh, that was something a real servant would totally say. Did I just hit Kuga with the broom? That's hilarious. Kuga, I'm so sorry. Are you okay?
Oh, I'm sorry for getting in your way. I ran out of ink.
I'm such a dummy! I'd asked him to sit in the hallway specifically so I wouldn't lose sight of him, too. I was so focused on cleaning I didn't even notice Kuga had entered the room. Man, I was hopeless. She's more like I lost sight of him than I smacked him in the motherfucking face with the broom. That's funny, though. I'm sorry about earlier, Kuga. I'm sorrier about... Sorry and earlier blended in my brain. I'm sorry about earlier, Kuga. Leave dinner to me, though. I cooked all my own meals before coming to Ito.
Did you? I'm sorry to put you through all that trouble, but I'd greatly appreciate it.
You got it. I already made rice, so I'm gonna go make some sides to eat with it using this.
A grill? Are you going to grill some mochi too?
No, dried fish I bought while we were out on patrol yesterday. Fat from fresh fish tends to fall onto the grill and make a mess, but dried fish doesn't do that. That was how I ate the dried fish they handed out in the village. The flame's also pretty gentle, so there's almost zero chance I'll burn it too. I come up with a pretty good method if I said so myself. Secretly elated, I laid the skewered fish onto the grill. Okay, the fire's looking good. I'll just let it roast and it should be ready to eat soon. Go ahead and keep working, Kuga. Sorry to make you leave the room again.
No worries. Besides, this isn't work.
Huh? Weren't you writing a report?
I finished that yesterday. I was writing in my diary.
Oh my god, I can't wait to read his diary. Diary? To be perfectly honest, I wasn't expecting him to say that, so it caught me by surprise. When he said it's not work, I was like, oh my god, are you fucking writing poetry? Because I would die. That'd be hilarious. You keep a diary, Kuga? Why would you?
What do you mean, why?
Because diaries are for women. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. They are not. Because diaries are for writing down things that happen each day so you don't forget them, aren't they? Why would you need to do that when you don't forget anything?
I see. Humans keep diaries to record things in.
What are you doing if not recording things? Oh, look, CG of him in his diary!
And that's not what I do. I write down things that happen to me in my diary to help me analyze how to handle them.
That's so adorable! Because he's like, people write things in diaries, and you're like, isn't that what you were doing? He's like, we do it to remember and look back, and he's like, I need to analyze them. I have to write things down. That's so cute, though. Look at how adorable he is in this. As a form of self-reflection, if you will.
It did serve that purpose a long time ago. People were often repelled by me because I had a poor grasp of the tact required when dealing with those who have hearts.
Really? But they all love you.
They do now. I exist to protect the townsfolk, and they provided me with information, so I never intended to rub them the wrong way. But by not saying anything when I should have, or by saying things when I should have stayed silent, I sometimes worsened arguments instead of ending them.
I love that. He is like, I am a robot. I have to understand how to human. So I write things down to analyze how to human. It's so adorable. Stop it. I'm gonna cry. He's so precious. I can't imagine that at all. Oh, but I guess he does sometimes stare at people and get a little bit too close. I'm sure those qualities were even more obvious when he first started out as a castle watchman, causing the people of Ito to misunderstand him. I never would have expected that. So you started writing in a diary to help fix it?
That was what got me started. It helped almost immediately, in my opinion. Sorting out my thoughts by writing them down helps me clear my mind. I'm slowly learning how to behave in a way that others won't find odd.
Kuga's put a lot of effort into this. Having people trust him was crucial to his mission, so doing this probably seemed obvious to him. As someone who'd also spent a lot of time contemplating how to befriend normal people in the past, I empathized with him. Come to think of it, it must not be very easy for vessels to live like normal people. Have the other vessels, like Yuichi, secretly been putting in this much effort too?
I'm not sure since I've never asked, but Yuichi always seems to understand how to be tactful. He's very good at acting like a person. I don't know about Kinji and Kyoshiro since they were born before me, but Kunitaka and Otaro have also been great with people from the very beginning. And Tominari has done a great job fitting in in Samurai Town from the looks of it.
Does that mean Kuga's the only vessel who's not good with relationships? Aww. What kind of awkward little object were you? That didn't mean I respected Kuga any less. Actually, it was the exact opposite. Knowing he'd been through that in the past made him even more amazing to me than before. That's really impressive. You worked so hard and now all the townspeople trust you.
It's nothing compliment-worthy. There wouldn't have been any need to do that if I'd been good at it from the very beginning. I'm glad I kept a journal. Maybe it's because I don't have a heart of my own, but contemplating how people's minds and thought processes work is deeply fascinating.
Wow, would you mind if I read a bit of your diary then? I'm curious how you view the townsfolk. It's not the only reason why. I'm also kind of curious about the way he writes about me. Kuga must have incredible observational skills if he managed to make himself act this human-like through daily logging and reflection. It was bound to be excellent reading. He's like, that's personal. Kuga? He doesn't want to share. He silently closed his open diary, tucked it under his arm, and then turned his back and walked away. Kuga, where are you?
To my room, to put my diary away.
What? Does that mean he doesn't want me to read it? Oh, did you write something that might impact the mission? Some kind of secret that wouldn't be good for me to see?
No, nothing like that. It's just very personal.
Huh? Then are you writing bad things about me or something?
What is this nonsense? I would never.
What is this nonsense? I would never. Then why won't you let me look at it? Girl, let it go! It's kind of cute though. But it should be like, okay, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to ask. Like, you don't. Girl, you don't ask why you can't read people's diaries.
Why, indeed.
Kuga didn't actually seem to know, but he crossed his arms and remained silent. That's interesting. He's like, no. And you're like, why won't you let me read it? He's like, I don't know. But no. That's adorable. A human or formfolk would just be plain embarrassed. I wonder if vessels ever feel that way too.
By the way, Spacey.
Yes?
Your fish are burning. Is everything okay?
What? We're over time, so we're gonna deal with the fire of our fish. Our fish are literally, they're not burning, they're on fire based on this, but we're gonna deal with that fire in the next part. So I will see you guys next time. Remember to give the video a big thumbs up and subscribe to see more.